What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. With that being said, man, I want to speak on Kevin Durant and everything that's going on with Kevin Durant. Not just what's going on with him, but like throughout his whole career, and talk about Kevin Durant's legacy, right? Now Kevin Durant, he has two championship rings when he played with the Golden State Warriors. But to me, other than that, Kevin Durant has not been able to lead his own team to a championship and have success. And so I think that's really going to affect Kevin Durant's legacy. For somebody who is a mercenary and not being able to have success or bring championships, like if he had won a championship somewhere else besides Golden State, then I think people will look at those championships that he won in Golden State a little bit different. I watched a video with Charles Barkley has said one time that Kevin Durant was just basically a bus. He was a passenger on a bus. He wasn't driving a bus. He basically said that Steph Curry was the one who drove the bus for that team when he was with Golden State. And I kind of agree with that because when you look back on his career and everywhere that he's gone, after winning those championships, he has not been able to get his team back to a championship. Whereas though Steph Curry was able to do that, like they won a ring before him, they won two with him, and then they won another ring without him. So there's no doubt that Steph Curry, he got two rings without Kevin Durant, but there's no doubt that Steph Curry can lead his team to a championship and be a part of a championship team. But the thing about Kevin Durant, that's not the situation. And when you look at the Houston Rockets now, and you see like how right now, like they seem like they're out of sync. And at first, I was like, well, you can't really blame Kevin Durant. But the more that I look at this situation and the more I hear about like what's going on with like the chemistry of the team, um, I attribute that to Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant he's like the veteran on the team. So if there's anything on the team, anything going wrong with the team, he should have enough experience and enough maturity to galvanize everybody on the team, bring these guys together, and put everybody back on the right path, right? And he's not been able to do that. And I think part of the reason why he's not been able to do that is because when he's moved around from team to team, so he's never had to work his way through these type of situations. If he's not having success or he don't like what's going on, then he's able to move and go on to another team. Whereas though if you stick with one team, you have to work your way through these situations. So with that being said, I'm gonna play a video, and let me see who is this. Let me see who this is.
He needs this to work, man. KD can't go out in round one again, and that's what they're staring at. Great player, one of the greatest scorers ever, one of the 20 greatest players of all time. But this is where I just remind people. Kevin Durant, age 22 in the conference finals, age 23 in the NBA finals, 25 in the conference finals, 27 in the conference finals, 28 in the NBA finals champion, 29 in the NBA finals champion, 30 in the NBA finals gets hurt. Age 23 to 30, he plays in 4 NBA finals and 6 conference finals. Kevin Durant, age 31, misses the season with injury. 32, the foot on the line series, round 2. 33, swept in round 1. 34, loses in round 2. 35, swept in round 1. 36, misses the playoffs. 37 right now. Man, this entire decade, 13 total playoff games post round one. That's rough, man. I don't know. And I like KD. One of the weirdest careers ever.
And like I said, I would attribute that to not staying in one place and working his way through the peaks and valleys that come along with being a franchise basketball player. All the stats, they always talk about the stats and everything that he's come up with. But to me, like the stats really don't mean anything uh, because it's about winning rings, chasing championships, and elevating yourself. I made a video a while ago where I didn't, and I said that I don't think that Kevin Durant maxed out his physical ability, his talents as an NBA basketball player. And so people might say, well, if you look at his stats and you look at his accomplishments, and people will push back and say, well, look at his stats, man, and everything he's done. But like I said, there's more to basketball than just scoring. And it's about being able to lead your team through the peaks and the valleys and be able to accomplish like what Steph did, like get a ring. I don't think definitely I don't think that if Steph Curry had a left or was going around to other teams, just shooting threes everywhere he go, he wouldn't have this. He definitely wouldn't have those championships, and people would look at his career a lot different. Because I mean, anywhere he go, he's going to be a shooter, right? But not every you, but you can't win every place, and it just takes so much time and effort to start all over every place you go. You just can't throw five really good basketball players on a court and say, all right, these guys are going to get me a championship. These guys need to develop chemistry together. They need to be able to know each other and be able to gel. And that comes along with stability, staying in one place and working your way through this, whatever situation that comes up. And Kevin Durant has never really had to do that. But along the way, he has accumulated a bunch of stats, which, in my opinion, the stats don't mean, is and like who was that? That was just Nick Wright, who I just played. Nick Wright, just like what Nick Wright said, that it's been an odd career. And I think had Kevin Durant stayed in OKC, and even if he had only won one championship in OKC, I think that would be better than winning the two that he won. A hell of a lot better than winning the two that he won in Golden State because that was his team, you know. And I think you learn how to win through trials and tribulations, and he's never stayed in one place long enough where as though he had to go through trials and tribulations. Everywhere he go, like if there's an issue, all he has to do is roll out and go to another team. He left OKC. People say he really couldn't. The relationship he had with Russell Westbrook was off. He went to Golden State. Kind of, him and Draymond started bumping heads a little bit, and then so he left there because he felt like he wasn't appreciated. Then he went to where did he go? Did he go to Brooklyn? He went to Brooklyn. Him and Kyrie. I think that's what his next step was at Brooklyn. That didn't work out with him and Kyrie. Again, I think the reason why that didn't work out with him and Kyrie is because they didn't give each other. Now they did stay hurt. It was Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. Right? Those they didn't stay long enough to work themselves to get their chemistry together. If they had got it together and all been committed to winning the championship with Brooklyn, then I think that they could possibly, because they had enough talent, I think that they possibly could have won something there, but they didn't win anything there. Then he went to Phoenix, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. I think in that situation they needed a point guard, but still, again, that was his team. He was the leader on that team. He couldn't galvanize those guys, man, and then they didn't have any success. Now he's with the Rockets, and it's the same old story. He's not able to galvanize these guys and lead these guys through the peaks and valleys that comes along with growing a team and learning how to win together. He just never did that. But along the way, he was able to accumulate some stats, a lot of stats, scoring type, as far as like scoring, breaking scoring records and stuff like that. That's cool, for you to have your name in the record books and stuff like that. But um this just goes to show, man, that franchise basketball players, in my opinion, should stay as long as they can in one place to get themselves an opportunity to win a ring on their own. But that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.